Hello everyone, and welcome to this tutorial in Maya. In the last one we went over extrude and the insert edge loop tool. So in this tutorial I'll actually be showing you guys how to combine two separate primitives together and how to also sew it up so that it looks better, essentially, so that it looks like one object. So first off, I need these two cubes, and I will be showing you something called combined, which is in the mesh combine. So when you do a combined, essentially Maya is reading it as one object now. And so when you ever do a combined, it'll reset the origin point. So to set that origin point again, or to reset it, press the D key and just move it back in place. So now that we've done that, let's say we want to separate it. We want it to be two objects. So we just simply go to mesh separate. So now again they are two objects and the pivot point has been reset again. Now for the separation, an important thing to know is that Maya calculates it by space. So essentially, if you have an object that is still combined and you want to separate a specific part, you have to go in and start deleting the faces until there is a clear space in between those two objects that you want to separate, and Maya will calculate it. But if they are completely combined, like vertices are merged, which I'll be showing you how to do very soon, you cannot separate them. Alrighty then. So now, let's say I want to merge, I want to completely, like I want the top of this sphere onto this cylinder. So there are a couple things to remember when you're doing this. So first off, I want to just lob off half of this sphere. I cut too much. Control Z is to undo. Q. And just press delete. Now we go under face mode here and we will delete the area that we want to be merged. And the reason why we do this is for the sphere, we just want to make it look nice and not have any hiding faces, which is different from overlapping faces. For the cylinder, we delete it for the overlapping faces. Well, actually, no, those are technically hidden. This would be a hidden face if we merge those two. So, another important thing to remember when you're doing a merge like this is to go around, click the edges, or count the vertices. So in this cylinder, we have 20 vertices right here, 20 edges. Now if we did vertices and just highlighted them, we would have 20 vertices. And then for the cylinder, if we went over here and highlighted them, we had 20 vertices. Now the reason why we do this is because when we're merging vertices, we want both the objects to have an even number of vertices with each other. So if one object has 20 vertices, the other object should have 20 vertices. So now we just simply move it into place. And we want it to be, when we're doing a clean merge, we want it to be about the same size. And we go into we always want to look around our objects when we're doing this, because doing it from one viewpoint can really be deceiving in 3D space. Now we'll lower it, and we want the vertices to be as close as possible because it'll just make our jobs easier as the 3D modelers. And there are a couple ways to do this. And so first off, I'll show you the most precise way. And so we first off want to combine these guys. So if we do Shift, right click, and go down to combined, these two objects are now combined. Now we go into vertex mode and select, click the Q click the selection tool because it'll just be easier, and that hotkey is Q again. And we want to select the two vertices we want to merge. Shift, right click, merge vertices, And then we can either do merge vertices to center or merge vertices. Either one is fine. For this one, I'll just do merge vertices. Now, I could do that for the entire diameter of the sphere, but instead, I'll show you another tool which just will essentially make the job a lot easier. So we shift, right click, merge vertex, and we'll do target weld tool. Now for the target weld tool, it is essentially a tool specifically made for merging vertexes. So what we want to do is that when we click and drag it, we just want to click and drag. We want to click on the vertex we want to merge and then drag it until we see this little circle around the vertex that we want to merge. Release, and now we have that guy into one vertex. Now, the first guy you click will automatically move over to the vertex you're merging with. So with this guy over here, if I click and merge it down, you'll see that the sphere's vertex moved towards the cylinder's vertex. Now, the next way we're going to do it, I'm actually going to undo all this stuff. There we go. And click the selection. And I am going to just very carefully select all the vertexes. Rotate around it so that we can see all of the vertexes around this object. Shift, right click, merge vertexes, or merge vertices and merge vertices. Now, since they weren't close enough, it didn't work. So now, that's what happens if you do too many selections at one point. That is something going to want to avoid at all costs. So if you go to the little square on the side of it, you can see this thing called threshold. And essentially what the threshold is that we're saying, okay, if we want it to be, if the vertexes are this far apart, move them to each other. And then this little check mark just says, always merge for two vertexes. So if we click apply, yep, that's too much. Close out. So let's say 0.5. Merge. Nope, still too much. This tool, this method, I would suggest sort of avoiding. There are certain scenarios where this method comes in handy. Essentially, if you are cutting your model in half and only doing half modeling, which is essentially where you only model half your object and then duplicating it over, then this method is really good. There we go. So it's all about getting the right threshold. So now you can see that that could have been a lot easier and can be a lot quicker. And we have our little cylinder now. Cool. So now if we go into objective mode, and then, so I just want to show you guys real quick before I let you go, the separate. So you see that it says the sphere is only one piece and is ignored. So my separation was ignored because this object is still considered one because we merged all the vertices. If I undid that, go into object mode, click it, and do mesh, separate, then it can read that these two objects are separate. So that is it for this tutorial. Thank you guys so much. For the assignment, I would say try to create a bullet using the method that I just showed you. And yeah, so that is it for this tutorial. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in the next episode. Bye bye.